It's NFL draft week and it's pencils down on everybody's mock draft. Everyone's got one. You see them walking around the streets with their mock draft. We're comparing notes. Geoff, we've got one. It's the top 5. Tell us about your picks.
Well, I think Houston's going to go with Jadeveon Clowney. I think everyone seems to agree that's the obvious pick right there. Second pick, I feel like the Rams are going to trade that pick. They love to trade. I don't think they need any of these guys. They could probably get more picks. Khalil Mack's probably the second best player in my mind, so they might go with him. Of course, they have a lot of pass rushers now, so it's not really, it would be more of a luxury. Then come the Jaguars.
Sure.
They just signed Chad Henne. I think they're going to give him a try at quarterback. They're not going to
signing Chad Henne should impact nobody's decisions, by the way.
They drafted Justin Blackmon as at wide receiver a few years ago. He's obviously having a lot of off-field problems. He's no sure thing. I think they take a receiver. They take the best on the board, Sammy Watkins. And then come the Browns. Obviously, the Browns are going to probably take a quarterback. I think
their philosophy is worst player available.
I'm going with Blake Bortles instead of Johnny Manziel, and a little bit of a surprise. And then come the Raiders. I think they'll be sitting on Watkins. They want a receiver too. They just got Matt Schaub. For some reason, they're content with Matt Schaub. So I think they panic a little bit now that Watkins gone, and they take Mike Evans, the big receiver out of Texas
A&M. The Raiders
A&M.
will panic. But let's talk about Manziel for a second. I like him in Cleveland. Ray Farmer, the new GM in Cleveland, he's spoken openly about how quarterback's not as complicated as we think it is. I don't think he thinks you need those big, burly guys. I think you can just have a guy who rolls out there who's 6 feet like Manziel and just plays the game. You know, they call it basketball on grass. He can go out there and make all the throws. He has the arm strength. And so I think Cleveland settles on Manziel at 4. Now, I think that Greg Robinson out of Auburn, he will go to St. Louis at 2. I think they need help on the offensive line. They have enough pass rush. Will they trade the pick? I don't know. The problem is I think people are going to be hesitant to trade with St. Louis because they've fleeced guys in the last couple of years. You know, they got RG3, that slot. They got huge value for that. They've had multiple first-round picks the last few years. I think nobody wants to trade up to that, give up so many picks. So I think they'll settle on offensive line help with Robinson. Now, when you look at Jacksonville, Gus Bradley, his defense, it relies on a pass rusher. So what do they need? They need a guy like Mack coming off the edge, in the Leo position they call it, a guy who just goes after the quarterback on every play. That will be the foundation for the defense, and that's why I think they have to pick Mack at 3 if he's there. If he's there. Now, Houston could go rogue and take Mack number 1. Which would be a huge surprise. Or offensive line help. You just don't know. Look, Rick Smith and Bill O'Brien, they're wild cards. They've never really picked at the top. Last time Houston had the top, it was Charlie Castaway was the old GM. They picked Mario Williams, sort of a similar situation. We didn't know what was going to happen. So really, I think Houston can go rogue and pick anybody.
Yeah, I think the thing with the Rams is, though, if they definitely need a tackle, there's a few of them who are pretty good, so they could afford to trade down and maybe get, you know, Robinson or Matthews or Taylor Lewan out of Michigan. Any of those guys will be pretty good.
All right, that's it for us. That's our mock draft, and we guarantee they're 100% correct.